Welcome back. In these portions of the video, I am going to discuss some of the PostgreSQL extension which is required for performance monitoring and tuning. The first things I am going to discuss about the pgrepack, and I'll discuss what is pgrepack and and how to install the pgrepack client side in the EC2 instance. So pgrepack extension is required to remove the bloat from table and indexes. Now this is some kind of reorg. So in RDS you have to just create the extension as a pgrepack, and you can use it pgrepack. So now normally pgrepack is used from a client side. Then from the client side you can directly log into the RDS instance, RDS Postgre instance, and run the pgrepack for particular database. Okay, so I am going to show you that how you can install the pgrepack in the EC2 machine. The EC2 machines I launched for pgbadger. The same instance I am going to install the pgrepack. So I am in my EC2 machine. The first things I am going to do, I am going to install the OpenSSL DEBL and the redline DEBL. This is a to yum install through the yum. The next things I am going to install the Postgres client. I am using this 9.6. You can install the latest as well. So which not now. I am going to download the pgrepack pack from the pgxn website using the wget. I'm going to install the latest one, 1.4.5. unzip, log into the pgrepack. Now I'll make. Okay, it's saying that gcc not found, so I am going to install the gcc as well. Okay, now make and sudo make install. Good. So now we'll try which pgrepack. Okay, it is not working. I purposefully done this thing because there is no pgrepack in the user local bin. So what I am going to do, that I am going to copy the bin directly to user local bin. So what I am going to do, the cp. Okay, now if I'll do the pgrepack, you can see it is in path. It's under a user local bin. So I am good to go with the pgrepack. Now, so if I'll go to the AWS document for the pgrepack, you can see that for pgrepack client utility we can use that particular script command. So I am going to use the same thing. I am going to change something. Sorry. This is the database names. My database name is testdb. This is something of quite mistake because first of all, before doing that, what I need to do that I am going to log in as my local users and create extension. So I log in as my normal users and I will create an extension. Okay, so extension is created. Now I'll log out and I'll relogging here. I cannot use this minus w options. Here I have to put this minus d options. I have to use the minus k option for pgrepack. So here my database name is testdb, u is test DBA username, and I'm going to replace. Now you can see that all the repacking tables is repacking public channels, countries, customers, products, promotions and times. So if I'll go back to my performance insights, I should see something. Repack options, SQL, yes, it's analyzing public customers. Okay, if I'll go to 1 hour, I should see everything. I believe I can see this thing operation in the cloud log as well. So I'll go to the log events. This is the last log. I'll view. It's a long file. If I'll go back in the last things, there should be something. Yeah, this is a PG repack, you can see. So this is the PG repack things. So this is the way to run the PG repack. Now I'll discuss some of the other things, like PG hint pan. This is just like a regular hints where you are instructing your optimizers to use the particular hints, not using the runtime optimizer plans. So this is the same about Oracle. We can provide some hint, and I'll show you what is the utility of these things. Another things I am going to discuss about the PG stat statements. This is something similar like PG stat activity or PG activity stats, but only the difference is that you can get historical informations or all the historical informations as well. So PG stat statements this extension is quite useful. And the last and not the least, I am going to discuss about the PG buffer cache. Okay. The next things I'm going to discuss about an extension called PG hint plan. It's it provides as an extension. So I'll show you some of the PG hint plans, but this is the AWS documentations. So if I click this thing, it will go into the details about the PG hint plan. Now they will show you some of the use cases. This is already included, so as a RDS we don't have to install anything on that. We can directly use these things. Only the thing we have to create the extension. So I'm going to create the extension right now, and then we are going to use this PG hint plan. So create extension PG hint plan. My hint plan is created. Now I am going to use some of the steps. We'll compare the plan in the deepest website tool to see what is the difference in between the explain analyze using this PG hint plan. So you already created the extension. Say first we'll check about one of our query. This is one of our favorite query. This doesn't have any index, so we'll first check. It takes 137 milliseconds. I'll copy these things and I'll go to the tool, submit. You can see there is a red flag, there is a nested loop, and the sequence scan is happening. Okay, the next phase I'm going to create the index. I know that this is definitely will help. So on the unit cost column on the table cost, I am going to create the index. Now I am forcing my table to use the index scan to the index scanning, and we'll see what's the difference. Or I can do another thing. I can use this command. That means I can also provide the index name here and force my optimizer to use it. Okay, so you can see the drastical differences there. It's 0.145 milliseconds. So if I'll show you here, it was now there is only one hash join. This is supposed to happen, but everything is, it's yellow, or that means it's taking this bitmap index scan. Previously there was a sequence scan is happening, so it is much better plan. Okay, so we'll go to some other checks. Okay, now this one, I'll drop the bit-tree index first. We already checked earlier, but I'm going to show you again. This is taking a hell lot of time, so this time I'll create another index on the sales table, but I'll do some kind of fun here. There's a time ID and customer ID. So I'll create a wrong index. While say wrong, this is index on the 2 columns, and I am going to use it right now, and I'll show you the difference. Okay, so I'm going to force them to use this particular index. Earlier this was the plan without index. There is a parallel sequence scan is happening mostly. So now I am going to use the index, and I will go to show you what's happening. So previously it was taking 1550 milliseconds, a hell lot of time. Now using kind of a, I'll say, wrong index, but still it is better. Okay, 43 to 238. Okay, now I am going to use the right one, sales time ID, and let me see, is there any differences there. Earlier it took some 43 milliseconds. This time it took 0.491 milliseconds. Interesting, right? So for these things, let me create an index, say about cost, and okay, for cost, unit cost. Okay, let me see one thing. Okay, for unit cost 35, unit cost 35. If I explain analyze, okay, now I am going to create a index and cost, unit cost. Okay, now I'm going to hint the things for index scan. Let's see if there are any improvements of that. So this time it takes 6.694 milliseconds. Yeah, you can see there is a drastical improves. So what I have done, that I have created an index, and I am forcing hint optimizer to use the index here. So there is a drastic difference, but this is to show you that using the hints you can do a lot of stuffs. This hints works very great when with the if you have the proper knowledge and all those things. Otherwise it's better to believe with the optimizers. Okay, so the next steps, there is something called pgstat statements. The pgstat statement is very useful things, because it's just like a pgstat activity, but it's for historical usage. You can check it for historical stuffs. So this is the pgstat statements. I will go to the Postgres documentation. Pgstat statements view. So it's a tracking, planning, execution statistics of all SQL statements executed by a server. Okay, so for here pgstat statements included, we have to only that create the extensions. The RDS is already enabling another parameter called track to track IO timing, so we don't have to do anything. Only the things we need to do that we have to create the extension pgstat statements and we can use it. So I'm going to create these pgstat statements extension first. Okay, it's done. So I'm interested what's there in it. Select star from pgstat statements. Okay, you can see that there's a DB ID and a lot of stuffs. It's having all the query text, all the query we have created. It's also having the total time, min time, max time, rows, so everything. So this is quite useful. What are the queries are been run here? So I can see that only one DB ID is there. This is the DB ID for my test DB, because whatever the activity I have done using these things. So you can find out what time, what is the query been run, and what is the total time it took. So this could be useful. Yes, this could be useful to find out the query. Okay, and the last, not the least, the PG buffer cache. So there is, so if I'll click this thing, it will go to the Postgres documentation. PB buffer cache module provides a means of examining what's happening in the shared buffer cache in real time. So this is good. You can get some kind of informations so regarding this buffer cache. So I'll just try to execute the query and show you what's there in it. Okay, I have to create the extension. Sorry, I didn't create the extension. Now it should come. Okay, you can see that it's having all the tables. What are the buffer status? So I think you got a good idea what is the basic way of doing the performance tuning in RDS PostgreSQL. And there are a lot of other things to discuss, like in auto vacuums, which is integral part of the PostgreSQLs. Maybe I'll be creating other video with the auto vacuum features, discussing in detail. But I think today's videos I'm going to end it now. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.